Well, it's 11:03. Let's get started. We'll jump right into it. Here comes Tommy Bracci. Andy, why don't you share with us some of the challenges you're having? We'll have a general conversation, get started. You're coming into this with a whole new world in front of you as far as the structure and procedures and what's available through EXP, but also in working with an organization like Thrive and what your all's plan is. What are some questions you might have right now, or just some concerns you have right now as you're moving your agenda forward that maybe we as a group can help you
Hmm.
with?
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. Top of mind, I would say two things just from the pure EXP vantage point. Best practices to become a listing agent, preferred agent in our local market would be one. Two, on the Thrive vantage point, getting in front of how to best ways to get in front of property owners, decision makers that have vacancies that don't know what to do with them, and see if our solutions can solve their problem. Our solution, of course, is to reimagine the Class B property, um, monetize the marble lobby that has two chairs, a security guard, and makes no money for the building and doesn't invite people there. So those would be the two things: how to monetize, how to get in front of the Class A, Class B decision makers that have a problem needs to be solved, and then back on EXP, how to list, best way to become a trusted listing agent.
Rich, I'm gonna let you come back with that.
Can you repeat the question, Eric?
Yeah, he's talking about how to go about getting in front of the right property owners with properties that are, B or C grade properties that they Thrive wants to come in and then recapture it. Andy, restate it once again yourself.
Rich, we license our Thrive model that we have 100% occupancy in all of our buildings over 3 years old. We've figured out how to do it. You're in a WeWork. They figured some stuff out too. They overexpanded, but it's a good operation. And we want to take that. We've licensed that to go out to Class A, Class B, any property that has vacancies, and show them how to monetize it and how to fill their property. Part of that is our AI model, but the other part is hospitality.
Well,
How do we
well,
get in
first
front
and
of more people?
first and
That's the
foremost,
question.
Eric, I had Andy on last week on the Deal Exchange, and Andy, you were phenomenal. It was great. We got a lot of good feedback. I had sent out the recording to everybody, so I hope that gets some people interested. Obviously, it requires people who work in the office segment. Eric, as you know, a multifamily guy. By and large. But I'm here in Los Angeles, and we still have extremely high office vacancy for. So there's any office broker in the LA area, Andy should be on the speed dial because there's just a lot of opportunities here. And then obviously not all of them are going to check off all the boxes, but there's a lot of good
Right.
office real estate, especially downtown LA. When Jim and I had our office in downtown LA for many years, I remember right before we left and right before COVID, there were 32 cranes up in Los Angeles, and it was just growing dynamically. We knew not all 32 would succeed, obviously, but there's so much growth there was. Obviously, things have turned for the worse, unfortunately, in LA, and you've got mass migration out. Got high crime. We've got a new mayoral race, thank goodness. We hope we get a good mayor in there that can put this silliness and get crime back under control so that we can start to bring the people back to downtown LA. Because for a while there, downtown LA, especially when the Lakers moved there, they opened up the live. It awesome. Downtown was really revived, and
Mm.
I just think it's taken a turn backwards. But I wouldn't give up on it. I still love downtown LA, and I just think that my office brokers who are out there, especially at EXP, really need to speak with Andy because I think there's some real opportunities there.
So how does someone like Andy, who's trying to get in front of those property holders, give him some tips, Rich, of how you've connected to property owners and or investors, because you've done both.
Yeah, so look, I mean, for me, it's always been about the database, and obviously with AI, I've been able to really accelerate the database and some really cool things that would have normally taken me months to do. I can now do in a matter of hours. And that's just getting information. CoStar is a great source for buildings. You certainly get to title reports and just build the database and just reach out directly to the owners of these buildings. And guaranteed you're going to get a call back, especially if you're not a broker. You know, they would love to talk to you without having to deal with a broker, just simply because, again, their vacancy factors are very, very high. So
Yeah,
that's where I would
that's
start.
good.
And I mean, the other thing is, if you're going to reach through the broker network, which is probably a good use of your time, Andy, I would reach out to the EXP guys, maybe talk to Sean to see if you can just get a list of all the EXP office brokers, in the Southern California area, and see if they can't really understand what you do. I'm sure my reach wasn't great. It's not a huge reach. I think we had 35 or 40 people on the call. But the more brokers that you
Yeah,
talk to that are aware that you are, because also, Andy, as you know, buyers are liars, but you're the real deal. You've got a strong track record. You've got a great program. People just need to understand what Thrive is and what they have in their database and their relationships with their respective owners if they have something that solves all the boxes.
So going through Crexy, going
good.
through CoStar,
Yeah.
finding who those tenant owners are, Andy, contacting them. I think really a great tip here. Give Sean Murphy a call. Say, hey, tell me who are the EXP commercial agents who are working with office rep, and identify the markets where you want to be. So contact those agents in the markets where you want to be, or markets where you might consider, like
Yeah,
LA. Start working with those EXP commercial agents who know that market and go from there. Here locally, an example, somebody that you're now talking to, maybe you weren't before, but you already know this, but just by way of an example, is Jeff Smith, right? He is
right
a
on.
office tenant rep in Atlanta, and he has great reach into other markets as well. Those are the guys that are going to help you find what you're looking for.
And if I may add too, it's be broker agnostic. It's not just EXP. If you go through Crexy or even LoopNet, and you go through office listings, you'll see a ton. Then you'll see who the players are too, who are the guys that are active, and those are the guys you reach out to. You just cherry pick the top guys you think at the top brokerages. Again,
Yep.
Andy, you are not a broker, so when you call CB or you call JLL, you call any of the big boys, they'll happily take your call. If it's me, they're going to be, oh Christ, it's a broker. I got a split fee. So you have a much more advantageous to work with the big boys than I would, and quite often I don't ever even work with them because they double end everything. So they don't like working with outside brokers, but they love buyers. And again, they would absolutely take your call. And I'm sure if anybody, I mean, they've got the databases, by the way. At EXP, we're all individual. But I'm a former Marcus guy, and Marcus and Millichap has it, CB has it. They all have their corporate databases that the brokers use. So these are massive databases. They have access to every office building in every market. It's just a function of how productive they are as an agent, but they have the tools. There's
Sure.
no question about
Yeah,
that.
that's good.
Michael, you want to add to that conversation? Let's just a little bit where how does he go about getting in front of people for listings? That's one of the things that Andy talked about. Sam, I'm on a pivot real quick here. Sam Porter, haven't met you yet, but you had your camera on. Turn it back on in a minute. I'd like you to share a little bit about who you are. So hold on. We're just having a conversation is what we do here. But Michael, go back to Andy's question, seeking that listing. Give him some tips that you've done because you've been successful with getting listings.
I mean, I have been, albeit on the residential front, right? But the way that I've always kind of approached it is you have to establish very quickly when you talk to a potential seller that you are someone worth speaking with. You get about 30 seconds, I think, or a minute to basically establish that. So I prospect a lot of what's called expired listings, which doesn't really so much exist in the commercial space, I don't think, but maybe it does. You can see if they were listed and didn't sell and they're no longer under contract anymore. Does that exist in the commercial space?
It does,
It does? Okay.
especially on leasings.
There you go. So I those aggressively, several times a week
Mm,
with those. I'd
great
make
idea.
tens of thousands of those calls, right? And I'm just them up and essentially telling them who I am very quickly. I introduce myself. I say, this is Mike Wiseman. I'm calling about whatever specific property address, and I'm
All
just
right,
curious.
stop
Yeah,
it there.
yeah,
Role play. Michael, you're calling Andy.
yeah.
Andy, you're the property holder. Michael, call him up and walk him through it. Take it.
So it's a commercial building or lease. What is it?
It's a commercial building that he's
Yeah,
interested in maybe taking it down and
Okay.
leasing it all out. That's
Okay.
what you're
All
calling
right.
for.
So
You
I
want
would
to
say
take the lease down.
take the lease down. Okay. So I would say ring ring. Right.
Yeah, hello.
Andy, Mike Wiseman speaking. Andy, I'm giving you a phone call about a property that looks like at one point was being advertised and promoted for lease, and looks like now it has been taken off the market.
Oh
And
boy, no, another broker. Oh boy.
okay, I'm just curious. Let's get right to the point. For the right price, the right terms, do you still want? If I brought you a lease that made sense for you, would you want to see it?
I don't know, man. I'm gonna like try to promote it myself. Just put a sign up and because nothing's happened, man. You guys promised the moon and nothing happens.
Understood. If I could produce that an offer for you with a lease, an LOI in the next 60 days, price and terms made sense for you, would you want me to bring it to you?
Give me one reason why you're going to be able to help me versus
Because
these other yahoos that haven't.
that's exactly what would make sense for us to get together about 10 minutes. Oh, well, here's what I'll tell you. Last year,
That's what they said.
okay, so let me tell you, last year my group closed 562 transactions for $185 million in volume. Okay. I've got 6 kids, 5 licensed. We operate together, a commercial residential hybrid team.
6 kids, man. I've got 7.
Okay. 5 of my kids in real estate, everything from construction, new construction, building, property management, commercial residential sales.
Well,
Okay.
man, let's just get together so I can see a picture of your kids because I can't believe somebody's got that many.
There you go. So
There
I've
you
never
go.
made it for a commercial call, Eric. So I'm just winging it.
No,
Okay.
that's good. And
But I'm
one of
using
the
the
things I'll
same
pick up-
and the same look. I get it. You're frustrated, right? You have no reason you to speak to me at all. But we
Hey,
have
luck
said
of the draw sometimes,
that's it. We have had a degree of success, and I will say that. I tell someone, look, I have 105 agents. We sold 562 properties last year. It's almost $200 million in volume, right? We're local. We're here, right? I'm in touch with a network that could be potentially what you're looking for. I won't waste your time.
Let me
Let's meet.
stop right there. Let me just stop it right there.
Yeah.
So, what he did, and you have this, grab the expertise of who Thrive is. So, when you get the pushback, that's what you serve. Here's who we are. Here's what we've done. Here's the statistics. The numbers don't lie.
Mhm.
In our business, it's about the numbers and the relationship.
Mhm.
And that's exactly where Michael went. Michael went to his trump card, which is his numbers. And
Yeah.
you've got that with Thrive.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to
Deal.
Yeah, I mean, you're thinking through your hot buttons, right? So with Thrive, you're going to say, look, we've taken down X number of buildings, been able to show them something no other broker ever even thought of, right? It's how to repurpose this building and actually turn it into an income producing asset, that's probably
Right.
what you've never seen before. And if you have, you cut me off in 10 minutes and I won't waste any more of your time. And I'll pay for the coffee.
Sam, say
Sounds
hello
good.
to the team. This is our Monday morning huddle. Sometimes we have 5, sometimes we have 30. We never know. We show up, we talk, we collaborate, we build community here. And in this, Andy Christensen, new to our organization, has some questions. So the group is answering those questions that he's got. Share with us who you are, please. It's nice to have you here. Tell us how you got connected with this and
Yeah,
give us a little bio.
yeah, a little bio. So I'm here on behalf of Joe Stratton. I'm joining his team this year. I'm gonna go ahead and get the license and get everything rolling. But in the meantime, Joe and I are creating a strategy around investing. So that's my background. Had on my own investing company. We had to do a whole bunch of wholesaling because of how much marketing it took in order to find what fit in our buy box. And so that's kind of where I learned to really network with other buyers and flip properties. Also, we did some fix and flips in order to kind of again create cash flow. But like I said, my interest is just learning as much as I can as I'm earning my license. I'm happy to be a part of the call.
So you've been doing off-market wholesale properties?
Yeah, that's my background.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. What type of off-market properties do you have right now, by way of example, if you have any?
No, I don't. I just joined up with Joe. We're turning that part back on. So, like I said, I've got buyers. That's what I have, and so now we're getting ready to turn on the marketing for the off market. So, as of right now, we only have one listing that we're trying to get maximum exposure on, and that's 17 acres here in Imperial for 250.
So when you say you have buyers, tell us who your buyers are. What
Yeah.
type of properties are they looking to buy?
Yeah, residential primarily. There are guys who are looking to buy and hold and fix and flip, primarily fix and flip. That's where most of our people want. They want injections of cash. They're, making good money, but this is kind of one of their ways that they're, funding other opportunities and really just putting their money back to work. That's who we are. That's who we know.
So the 16, 17 acres, that's a little different. That's just land undeveloped that you're going
That's
to try to
correct.
market and sell.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And then do you know how it might be zoned? What it could possibly be for multifamily, single family? Do you know that yet?
Yeah. We know that there's really nothing on the land, which is pretty unique. I've never come across that before, but again, I haven't dealt a lot with land. So yeah, it's unrestricted. Right now, they're using it for hunting, and the family is going back to Washington State and planting a church. So they need the funds in order to, it takes money to erect churches. So that's what they're doing.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to have an offline conversation about the land, maybe I could point you in a direction of things that you could do to find out its best use, because that's what's new is to find out what's the best use for the property. Then how
Yeah.
do you tell that story and take it to the next level? You have your license yet?
No. That's now.
Okay. You're taking them. Are you going to come onto the residential side or the commercial side?
Well, honestly, I'm going to start with the residential, but honestly, I really want
Okay.
commercial.
All right. Well, great to have you here. You're part of the team, and I know Joe's a great guy. Is Joe with Sean or is he with Chris Sacklaven? Which is he under
Sean,
Sean?
Sean.
Fantastic. All right.
Yeah.
Well, great people, really good people. Make this something you plug into because you'll come away with it with some really good tips and good useful information. I got a challenge for you guys. So it's 5 conversation challenges, 5 different conversations this week. And you've heard me say this before. So these are not texts, these are not emails. Michael, they're phone calls, just like what you just said. This week, one past client, one past client. One's really minimal. You ought to go at least after 5. Every day you ought to reach out to one past client. That's one. Write these down because I'm gonna ask you about it next week. Write down a name right now of a past client you've thought about talking to that you haven't. If you can do that, write down a name of a past client. Even you, Bratchy, a past client that brought you a 1031. Someone maybe that a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and you haven't talked to them for a while, and you're like, I ought to just give that person a call. Who is that? Anybody write one down? Show of hand. Nobody has a show of hand. Nobody wrote down a name. All right. Reach
Hey,
out
Eric.
and
Yeah, I
Rich, you
definitely got
said
one. I
this.
didn't get a chance to
Yeah.
put that in.
Say again.
Yeah, I got it down for sure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Circle and call him after the meet. After this, give him a call. Rich, you talked on this. Agents outside of the brokerage. So here's a challenge for you. Reach out to 3 agents outside of EXP this week.
So, and Eric, forgive me, I'm in a remote location, I'm in like a little phone booth here, so I don't have any ability to write things down. But I wanted to share some anecdotal
Please.
evidence to your point yesterday, or to your point a few minutes ago, actually. Is yesterday, sorry, Friday, I received not 2 but 3 emails from past clients, all looking, saying, "Hey, Rich, we haven't spoken. Just want to see what you're working on." In translation, we got money. We want to find something for us. So you can guarantee that that they are on my call log after this meeting.
Good. Good. It's amazing how these certain things just kind of work,
Yeah. Yeah,
right?
it's look, I mean, we're still interest rate driven. Interest rates are paused right now. We still got the geopolitical issues. The Fed chair is still in place. We're hopefully he'll be out in the next week or two. So you still got all these things on for issues, but clearly to me, what's indicative, the investment community sitting there saying, okay, now we know over the course of the next few months, rates will probably start to trend downward, and let's start gearing up and see if we can't find some product.
All right. So for the group, Rich and I did not have a conversation prior to, but this is the third time he's given me a lead in. Thank you very much, Rich. Here's the next lead in. Call 3 potential investment groups this week. That's my next tip. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah, I would do
3,
more than that.
yeah, no, right. At least call people who might invest and participate in something you're doing this week. That's really important. Andy, same thing for you. And I'm going to pivot on why that can be important in a minute.
Yep.
But
Good.
reach out and call 3 investors. Now, when you reach out to them, what's important is what you ask. But I'm just making a note with you all right now. Note that you're going to call 3 investors this week. Reach out to 1 developer, 1 builder, or a lender this week? Developer or lender? Developer this week. Same, you need to do that for your property. So let's go back to the questions. And this is what a lot of people, I was working with a guy for about a year. And he said, Eric, I'm talking to this guy and he's got an interesting opportunity. We ought to talk to him. And this is somebody that I was working with as a mentor, mentee mentor relationship. And I kept trying to get the mentee to ask more questions, right? Wouldn't do it. So we had a phone call with this particular individual. And when I started talking to him, Rich, you know what I did. Michael, you know what I did. I started asking questions. Why? Because I want to be an architect of opportunity. I want to facilitate opportunities. And then I want him to get to know me so he trusts me. So as I began to ask questions, I'm listening and he's doing all the talking. He's sharing with me who he is, what he does, what he has. He was holding some of it close to his chest, and I knew he would, but he began to share some things with me. And as he shared opportunities with me, I then brought added value and said, oh, I need you to talk to so-and-so, or I'm going to arrange for you to talk to someone that I know would be interested in that. So I immediately brought it added value to him because he shared something that he had, and I listened and I thought, who can I bring to him to bring added value? Now, I'd participate too, but I immediately established I'm somebody who's going to bring value to you. I didn't just say hello and say, my name's Eric Clark and I need this. Can you help me? No, I didn't do that. I called to learn who are you and what do you do and what's on your desk? What's new? What's next? What are you looking for? What are your needs? And if you're plugged in, you can sit back and say, okay, I can connect people to this. That's what you're doing. You're learning how to connect and bring added value. That's the key. Andy, when you're making these calls, you don't want to just be, hey, I'm looking for this. You want to be, tell me about what you're doing. Tell me about what your needs are. Where can then you attach added value to the conversation? Now that person becomes somebody that wants to share with you. In the instance I was giving you, this mentee was talking to somebody, never asked these questions. This goes back about 10 months, 11 months. I have over 30 off-market opportunities now that are coming from this guy because I asked questions and the opportunity was there, but somebody else didn't take it upon themselves to learn it. You following? Sam, does that make sense to you? Andy, does that make sense to
1,000%.
you?
Be a go-giver instead of a go-getter.
Yeah. So you listen, I was sitting with a guy the other day and I went trying to create an opportunity for myself to do some consulting work for him. I was with him for 90 minutes. And with the questions that I asked, he talked for 70 minutes of the 90. You think he enjoyed that conversation and thought well of me? He talked about himself. That was a win-win, right? I didn't have to say hard. I just tell me about what you're doing. How'd you get to this point? Tell me about how you made that pivot. What's new? What's next? And I just listened. The guy thought I was great. All he did was talk about himself. And now I'm showing him where I can connect and bring added value to that. And I've got several follow-ups with him. So those are some things I'd share with you today. I'm just going to open the floor. Anybody want to share something they're looking for or a need real quick? And we'll call it a day within 30 minutes on the bottom of the half hour. Rich, I owe you follow up. Let's follow up on that. Rich, Michael, you owe me a headshot and a bio. Michael is on next week. Michael, share with the group what you're going to do next week. And I want everybody to try to bring one more person with you on the call next week to hear what Michael's going to do. Michael, go.
I'm going to essentially show you the kind of the system I built using AI for running my real estate business, and I think will apply in every regard what you guys are doing as well. This is not a matter of residential, commercial. It's really how to run any business. So if you're using AI right now, I will show exactly how you can probably supercharge that. It's going to focus a lot, Eric, on using Claude Cowork, okay, and really leveraging that to structure your business, your tasks that you do more than once in the course of a week. And I'll show you exactly how I've set up essentially the operating system for a real estate operation, brokerage, team, independent agent, whatever it might be, a commercial advisor. And you'll see exactly how I'm doing that. Would normally take me an hour to 2. I'm doing them in 15 minutes to prepare for a presentation or a proposal. It's just incredible. So it's that's what
Yeah,
I'll be
I'm
sharing
really
with
looking
you. I'll be
forward
sharing
to
with
it.
you. Yeah, but if it is going to focus on Claude and specifically Claude Co-work. That's where I think where the best bang for your buck is. So if you don't have Claude or you're not using it right now, I open a free account for now. After I show you what you're going to see next week, I'm sure you'll want to get at least a $20 a month one paid, but start with that.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week.
Mm.
So everybody be here and bring somebody else with you.
Yep.
That's all I've got for today. Anybody else? Anything else? Rich,
Good stuff.
don't get in trouble in the phone booth. I've seen
Mm.
people get in trouble in phone booths, so behave. Everybody have a great day. Have a great week. Sam, my phone number is 770-878-7334. If you want to write that down, Sam, 770-878-7334.
878.
And my email address is eric.clark@expcommercial.com. Send me a text after this call. We'll exchange information. 770-878-7334. Send me a text. We'll exchange information. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Andy,
Thanks,
we
everybody.
need to get together, brother.
Let's do it. I'm going to send you a note right after this. We'll get it on the calendar.
Make it so that we can have lunch and have some good barbecue first.
There we go. Bird ends, baby.
But it'd be nice if Chris could sit in just for a little bit.
He needs to.
If that can happen.
Yes.
If not, I'm here for you.
Yeah, we'll set it up.
All
I'm
right.
on it. Thank
Did you
you.
get your guy in North Carolina taken care of?
Yeah, he's going to be on Monday.
Fantastic. All right. Good to see you. Good to see
Yeah,
everybody.
brother.
Sam, thanks for
everybody.
joining us. Look forward to seeing you more.